really want to touch on financial independence, because you have some women, single women who have this idea that they're waiting for this man to take care of them and, you know, cover their needs. They don't need to work, and which is good if that's what you want. But when you're single and until he comes, you got to pay your bills, you know? So can you just touch on the importance of financial? I think I tweeted something yesterday. You liked it, like, women, have your own money. Have your own money. Don't let anybody tell you it's different. Have your own money. Have your account. Have your savings. Have something you are doing. Financial independence is a necessity for every human being. You don't want to be a liability. You want to be an asset. Please continue with these gems.
I think the financial independence is important. Like, if you're a woman where you've managed to get yourself a nice job and you're working hard and saving whatnot, let's say keep doing it. And if you're married, then that's going to be between you and your husband, how you decide your household.
Yeah,
you know,
before they come and attack us now.
Yeah, exactly. Because people talk like, oh, when you say that, no, listen, when you guys decide, because I know some couples, even the message, that have come to an understanding where the wife works and the husband works, but they have their reasons why, and they've found a common ground where it's going to work for the household. So it's up to you, but sis, if you can take care of yourself, take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself. I'm telling you, have your own.
It's nice. Telling you. Let's be real. It's nice not to depend too much on people. Like, that's how I feel. Like, it's nice. It's nice to feel you have something to lean back on. I think that's why, for me, when I was growing up, they really emphasized on the fact that I should build myself up first and find myself and become something rather than focusing on marriage. Because I mean, if they just knew that if for a young woman you have something like where you're ready, figure yourself out, I think the right guy would also respect that a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah.
She's not just relying on
waiting for me. Exactly. You know, that she's been doing something, she's been invested, and you can always support it. Like, for me, even when I get married, you know, by God's grace, the ultimate goal is to be to support my family. So the money is not all necessarily for myself, for my kids, for my husband, for investments, for the other things, you know, the goals you have. So, you know, I don't see any disadvantage to it. You know, I think a real woman she won't be arrogant with it, you know.
Exactly. You know, that's why I think some people, like some brothers, they fear that as well.
Yeah, like, you have to get to care yourself, bro.
Like, they fear the fact that, like, a young woman or like a sister is like really, you know, firm and assertive, like, it scares them. But to be honest, let's be very real. Like, it's just like you said, if you meet the right person, even the right guy, like, but if as a woman, like, if you meet, I mean, if you're as a brother, if you meet the right woman, she's not about to walk around and like be trying to dominate you because she's got that, or she's got 1 degree extra than you. Like, she's not going to do that because she's a woman.
But let me say something really funny I heard online. It was actually a woman preacher. She said it's just like, it's not every woman that a husband can slap or a husband can say pack out. By the time you start saying, this is the curtain I bought, this is the table I bought, he will have nothing left. You know, it's just not every woman that a man can just be. By the time he knows who you are, he will treat you, he will respect you and treat you well. You know? So, ladies, it all goes back to that self-worth and your motive again. You know, if it's to help the family, support the family. These are all good reasons, you know. It goes back to your motive. So how do you find happiness during your single season? So that completion that is needed before you meet someone, how do you find that? A lot of people, I think, are miserable in giving themselves to it's true, to be alone, to be with their thoughts, to be with themselves. So how does one find that happiness that they're longing for in somebody else? If that makes sense.
I think the happiness will come from, first of all, I know for me, it's just leaning on God's word, right? But also for me as well, it's a thing of, like, once you found yourself, I found that happiness in you. Like, you know exactly what you're looking for. So when you find that person as well, you're going to look for the traits that, you know, like, if I'm married with this person, I'll be happy, whatnot. But like, the important, first of all, is just to really find your own purpose beforehand as well. Like, when you know, like, what you're aiming for in life, and you know God has everything in control. Like, you're not going to worry about the little things. And I think for me, that's where I find my joy, because I know that He has the best plans for me. So I don't know why I should be worrying. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you know, like, everything,
it goes back to trust.
If everything's if everything's taken care of and you know it from the beginning, like, if you already knew my name, you already knew who I was gonna be, then it's fine. Like, I'm at peace and I'm gonna keep doing my thing. Do you know what I mean? And he's got everything in control. Do you know what I mean? And I feel the other hand as well, be like praying on it as well. But just trusting, literally, like you say, trusting God. Like that's where my joy really stems from. And if you're doing something you love as well, I believe you also find joy in that. Like, don't look, another thing I'll say is like, don't look left, don't look right. Because when you look at other people, right, you look at what they're doing, it really, it's like comparison really is a thief of joy. Like you're going to look at other people, like, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. But then sometimes the weird part is sometimes there's people that wish they were like you, you know, because some people, they see stuff in you that they say, oh, if I'd done this, maybe I'll be like doing what she's doing, whatnot. I mean, if I had the courage, I'll be doing the same thing. So for you to find joy, especially in the single season, is like, don't compare yourself to other people. Because the grass is not always greener. I'm telling you, when you hear stories, like when I hear stories and stuff, I'm like, whoo, whoo.
I'm okay with me.
Yeah, I think being single is perfectly fine. You know what I mean? Like,
see, when I talk to her, that's actually the next episode I'm filming, recording for Multi Inspires on what single Christian women need to know about marriage. I actually recorded it before, but the video wasn't good, so I'm recording again. And it is work. It is work. Love is beautiful. We're not like disputing that, but there's a lot that goes on. Lots of responsibility that goes on. I'm just like, just relax in this season you're in.
No, literally, it's like what you say, like, love is beautiful. Like, for me, even when I see people announcing their engagements and stuff like that, I don't feel bitter about it. Not at all. Like, I feel generally happy, especially with people that you know personally or whatever.
Right.
It makes you feel so happy because you're like, oh, you know, they found themselves and you know it's true love. You know, they truly like each other. And you feel generally happy. Like, I don't feel intimidated. I don't feel like hateful. And that's how some people get. They're like, oh, like me too, I want it. So they start like comparing themselves. Well, let me tell you something. It's a whole work. I thought it's one thing.
Not for kids.
Exactly. That's something they always say. And I'm just like, But then when I started seeing the reality, I was like, amen. Like they say to you, like, once you're married, like marriage is not for kids. And I'm like, because right now when you're looking on the outside, you're just like, yeah. Sometimes actually we just need to be so realistic. Like, you don't need to be like living on a little bubble, like saying, oh, like, you know,
because fairy tale, we're not kids anymore. Like
the problem I think is like we see the wedding, we don't see the marriage.
Right.
So, I mean, people don't see the life afterwards. People see like all the
day one after the wedding.
The puffy white dress, the bridesmaid, how many bridesmaids am I gonna have? And like, you know, the decorations. And trust me, all of that is beautiful, right? We're not saying that's not beautiful. It is. Love is absolutely beautiful. Like, that's why I get very weird and mushy, you know what I mean? But love is very beautiful, but it's a whole work afterwards. Like, like it's one thing, I feel it's one thing to be married and to stay married. And I mean stay married where
happy
it's healthy
too, because a lot of people are in marriages but they're not happy. That's one of my biggest fears. So they're married for, and that's why we see people who have been married for 30 years, they're getting divorced. That thing like freaks me out. I'm like, 30 years, you're not supposed to be like, happy, you've got married, secured, but now the ones who are 30 years married, especially in secular world, are the ones getting divorced. And I'm just like, what is going on?
Trust me, 27 years and you're divorced. I'm just like, 27 years of my life.
I know, time God.
You know what I mean? So for me, like, it's one thing, but it's important, like, to be happy. Like, it's like staying married is beautiful, but it's to be happy as well. That's why for me, when it comes to like, even if people told me like, Naomi, why don't you get married? I'm like, listen, first of all, I don't know about you, sis, but for me, first of all, I believe it's my Boaz that's going to find me.
Exactly.
So if I'm still single, that means he hasn't found me yet.
He's still on the way.
You know what I mean? So I think that's the kind of response we need to give to some people, because especially if you see life in that way, like you don't believe in you're the one that's going to shoot the shot, then if I'm still single, pray for me and ask God why I'm still single. because people ask you some questions, you're like, I don't have an answer to that. Do you know what I mean? I'm here living by faith, so how am I supposed to know when my man's going to come along? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly,
It's just one of them things, like, if you follow the pressure, you're really going to rush into it, and then you're the one that's going to have to deal with it. Do you know what I mean? You're the one that's gonna
Right.
like, there's the beautiful side, absolutely. But then you guys are gonna have moments where you just can't stand each other. Like you see it with couples, like they're all looking at you, then next thing they're bickering, and you're just like eating popcorn and just like, wow, you guys. You know what I mean?
Actually, sexual temptation, let's be real, it exists with single women. So how should single women navigate that element, especially for us who are waiting to marriage and trying to honor God with our bodies?
Yeah, I would say like it's important to really know your word as well. Like once you know your word and you know why you're doing something, it's easy for somebody to tell you like you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. But when you know it for yourself, you're gonna be like, no, I don't want to get into this because I'm waiting for marriage or whatnot. So you're really gonna stand on your truth.
Right.
And another thing I would say, is, well, let's say if you're like, this was not part of the preaching, was if you're with somebody that's encouraging you to go down the path that they know,
no,
that is already a no. I mean, like you already know what the
you already
standard
know.
is. Like,
sorry to cut you off again. I just want to just put this point there for the ladies listening. Someone said, I think it was one of his relationship coaches who's a Christian and pastor. He was like, the self-discipline you need before marriage is the self-discipline you need in marriage. So if he can't even control and discipline himself and have practice self-control in marriage, don't be surprised when he goes around hunting again and looking and cheating and all of that, you know?
Yeah.
It's true.
No, but it's very true because like the pastor had mentioned that even if you're with someone that's already encouraging you to go down the wrong way, that's already a red flag. Like you need to run because first and foremost, like if they like literally say to you, listen, I know this is the standard, so we're gonna do this, and we're not gonna go like left, right, to center. We're gonna go this way. We're gonna honor God's word, whatever. You already have respect for that person because you're like, wow, okay. Well, somebody, you need to check their spirit. Somebody that's putting you down, you need to check their spirit.
He doesn't fear God, so you're in trouble. Your marriage is already on shaky ground.
I'm telling you. So for me, I'll know like once, like one thing that's happening in life is that when I've had a stand on something, I don't allow other people to get me off the course, especially if I know something important as what I believe in. So if somebody says to me, listen, let's do this, I'm like, listen, I told you I don't do that. I don't do that. So I'm not going to do it. And once you found that assertiveness in you, where you're like, no, listen, this is what the word says. I'm not going to go outside of the word just to satisfy whatever it is that you need.
2-3 minutes of pleasure. Like, really, sis?
Exactly. So like, it's better off to look after yourself, especially because everything you do, like you will regret it later on. Do you know what I mean? And also another thing I'll say is pray as well. Prayer is the key in every little thing. I know every little small thing I do, I'm like, God, like you need to put God in front of everything you do. Because when I put God in front of everything I do, there's always the success afterwards. You know what I mean? And if God is giving you red flags, sis, that might be one of the red flags that you start saying, now this person, like, it's just important to really have a stand. Do you know what I mean? Like, have a stand for yourself.
Naomi, you've been amazing. You spilled so much gems. Like, do we deserve this? Do we deserve this reality? This reality check? From a single woman to another single woman. Ladies, please take heed. We are not bashing marriage. Marriage is beautiful. Love is beautiful. But take heed. And we're not kids. We're not babies anymore. For every season of life has its blessings, lessons, challenges, tests, responsibilities. So marriage still has all of that, and I hope this episode was helpful. Drop your comments, your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on singlehood, how you're finding purpose and thriving during this season. Were you one of the ones people desperate to marry? And I hope your views have changed after this.
Let's say we're not trying to scare you. We're not trying to scare them, but there's the reality.
That's a wrap, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Naomi, thank you so much for hopping on.
Thank you for having me.
No worries. To those watching, be sure again to subscribe, like, drop your comments, and I'll see you guys in my next video.